Time to dust off your Mage Masher, go into a trance, and equip a freaky monkey tail. It's time for a boss battle. Welcome everyone to the first ever boss battle. I'm Josh, and I'm ready to bring you a new look at some of video games' most fun, hardest, or just odd and quirky boss battles. I've been a huge fan of RPGs ever since I first picked up Final Fantasy VI on my Super Nintendo way back when I was a kid. So I decided that for my first battle, I was going to pick another baddie from the world of Final Fantasy, the Black Walt'z. Final Fantasy IX was released in November 2000 and in my opinion was a fantastic addition to the series, going back to a more traditional medieval look and a feel of the earlier Final Fantasies before 7 and 8. The game features an ability system which allows your characters to learn new active and passive abilities by equipping certain weapons and armor and gaining ability points or AP through the battles. Once the required amount of AP is gathered, that ability can be used by that character even when that particular piece of equipment is not equipped. Games like Grandia and Final Fantasy V also dipped in the process of earning AP or using a certain item or skill to make your characters more powerful, which just makes leveling up your party more fun and rewarding in a less traditional method of just grinding to level 99. You as the player have the option to either fully deck out your party members with all the magic and skills they can learn, or put a handicap on yourself by not learning many to make the game more challenging. Think of the ability system in terms of making a sandwich. You need to equip a butter knife to spread the mayo onto your bread, and the more times you do it, the better at it you get, and finally you can unequip that butter knife and spread the mayo without it. Wait, no, you still need the knife to spread the mayo, but in the game that you can unequip it and still use the ability. Okay, so it's like, if you could spread the mayo with any knife after 10 sandwiches, 5 sandwiches. Okay, it's really easy to make a sandwich, you guys.
Wait, so for your very first episode, you picked 3 bosses instead of 1? Bosses battle?
Yeah, maybe I bit off more than I can chew, but just doing one of these guys didn't really make much sense in the grand scheme of things. And plus, it's pretty interesting subplot revolving around Vivi, so I just decided to do all 3 instead. A little more on that later. So can I continue now, Aaron?
I'm concerned about your mental health. That and the sandwich thing. I'm getting hungry over here.
The Black Waltzes are numbered 1 through 3 and come after you one at a time after escaping Alexandria Castle with Princess Garnet. But let's just back up a little bit and look at the story so far. Final Fantasy IX starts out in Alexandria Castle. You take control of Zidane Tribal, a quirky thief with a monkey tail. He basically looks like the child of Diddy Kong and Princess Peach. Or maybe it's Dixie Kong and Keanu Reeves. Anyway, Zidane and his group of thieves known as Tantalus have come to Alexandria to kidnap Princess Garnet while they put on to play I Want to Be Your Canary for the Queen. The kidnapping goes badly and ends up with Zidane getting chased by the princess's bodyguard Steiner. They get chased right on stage in front of the Queen herself, but after some improv lines, Zidane and Garnet manage to escape on Tantalus' airship, the Prima Vista, but now without Steiner on board, and also Vivi hitched a ride to escape the castle guards who caught him sneaking into the play. Alright, so the gang is all assembled. However, in the escape, the Queen manages to damage the Prima Vista enough that it has to crash land outside of the evil forest.
Oh, the evil forest. Were the writers of Final Fantasy running out of dumb fantasy trope names? What's next? The Mad River? The Scary Town? Taco Island?
Actually, after your party manages to escape the evil forest, you have to escape through the ice cavern.
Well, I guess that's better than the cold cave. Or the freezing tunnel. But only barely.
Well, either way, after the gang escapes the deadly evil forest, they head to the ice cavern where we encounter Black Walt'z number 1. Near the end of the ice cavern dungeon, you come to a fork in the road. The fork leads to a frozen Moogle named Moise, who you can thaw out and save your game with. I recommend this. The right fork leads to a trap set up by none other than Black Walt'z number 1. This first battle against Black Walt'z number 1 and Sea Lion is only with Zidane, since the Black Waltz's Sleep Blizzard spell didn't work on him.
Must have been the monkey tail.
Either way, this is a pretty easy battle since Zidane is just a couple of turns away from his trance at the start, so if you plan on stealing from either boss, I would suggest trying to nab the Mithril Dagger from the Sea Lion so you can learn the Bandit skill for Zidane a little earlier on in the game. Besides that, the other items stolen from either the Sea Lion or the Black Waltz #1 are just basic and can be picked up at the next shop you come across. Once Zidane goes into a trance, use the Tidal Flame move under his Dying skill. This move will kill the Black Waltz in one hit and leave the Sea Lion at low life. Try to keep your HP above like 90 or 100 since the Sea Lion has a move called Tsunami that it's going to use right after the Black Waltz dies, and it can deal a pretty hefty amount of damage to you. One more hit from Zidane's Tidal Flames, however, and it will take care of the Sea Lion, and you've defeated Black Waltz #1 and saved your friends from that grumpy old mage. Afterwards, there is some dialogue between Zorn and Thorin, the Queen's helpers, who are the creators of the Black Waltzes. They talk really funny, and they kind of remind me of a blue and red Noid from Domino's commercials. It's pizza time! Now that you've escaped the ice cavern...
Chilly chamber! Frigid fissure!
I get it, Aaron, but now that you've escaped the ice cavern, you head over to the village of Dolly. The village of Dolly is a little town near the exit of the ice cavern. It sits near South Gate, which is where Zidane is trying to get Princess Garnet to escape to Lindblum and away from the reach of the Queen. Before you can head to the South Gate, the group decides to head down to Dolly for some well-earned rest. Dolly is a noticeably odd farming town with only a little farming patch and no actual adults to be found except for that sleepy innkeeper. The group finds out that the town has become a front for creating living black mage dolls that look a lot like Vivi, and less badass versions of those Black Waltzes. These dolls are being shipped off to the Queen in Alexandria, which is serious news to Garnet. And this is where the next two Black Waltz battles take place. Black Waltz #2 attacks you next to the airship Zidane and the gang are trying to board on their way out of Dolly. And I can't help but think about Star Trek during this battle, since the Black Waltz tells you resistance is futile, just like the Borg. It's like that time Captain Picard became a Borg and he was leading them to Earth to destroy Starfleet.
Nerd alert! Nerd!
Oh, come on! It's like the super amazing part of Next Generation.
Nerd alert!
Nerd alert! Nerd alert! Nerd alert! Wee-oo! Nerd alert! Wee-oo! Wee-oo! Anyway, this second battle is even easier than the first due to the fact that the Black Waltz will not even attack Dagger at any circumstance, which leaves her available to heal everyone in your party without risk of even dying herself. This leaves you open to try to steal the next two items from the boss if you want. Vivi's magic is very ineffective in this battle, and the boss will also counterattack if you use any of his spells. So either just use physical attacks with Vivi or use his focus ability a couple of times to make it worth your while. Basically just attack with Steiner's magic, sword ability, and physical attacks with Zidane, and this boss will go down in just a couple of rounds. Once you win the battle, you get aboard the ship and fly off. The whole ship is crewed by the Black Mage dolls who were being made back in Dolly, and this weird Vivi Black Mage doll scenario is getting to me. Poor little Vivi's confused.
I'm Josh. A whole ship that was crewed by Chucky dolls would make you confused and upset too, with their creepy dead eyes and butcher knives. Ugh.
Well, true. You're not too far into the flight when none other than Black Waltz #3 appears. He falls in line with the difficulty of the other two Black Waltzes, but with a much lower steal rate for some nasty reason. Hopefully, if you plan on stealing his items, you learn the bandit skill from the mithril dagger you nabbed from the Sea Lion, which increases your stealing success rate. Vivi goes into a trance at the beginning of this battle, so have him double cast fire, while Steiner uses magic sword, and Zidane just does normal attacks. Black Waltz #3 doesn't have much more HP than #2 did, so once again, if you're not trying to steal, this battle should be over in just a few turns. After the fight with Black Waltz #3, he escapes, and he goes a little crazy chasing you through Southgate. Well, he chases you into Southgate, and then he explodes on the wall. And then once Black Waltz #3's nuts and bolts are smeared all over Southgate's walls, you're safe. Well, for now. I mean, you're like 1/5 through Final Fantasy games, so you have like 20 more bosses to fight, so I mean, you're not technically like really safe, but like it's the illusion of safety which matters, right? I mean, we all know it's coming, but they don't, so like, yay, they're safe, they did it, good job. While the Black Waltz battles are obviously not the hardest ones in Final Fantasy IX, they do open up an interesting subplot about Vivi's origins and basically what the Queen is up to in Alexandria with this giant army of Black Mage dolls. So if you guys are interested in diving a little deeper into that lore, I'm thinking about making a follow-up lore video to this one about how the whole Vivi Chucky doll thing works into the bigger picture of FF9. If that's something you're interested in, please let me know in the comments below. Also, thanks for watching episode 1 of Boss Battle. If you thought this was fun or interesting or somehow helpful, please comment, like, or hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to this new channel and to me. and we'll see you on the next boss battle.